For the people who weren't there in the 90s, it was kind of a renaissance for Marvel Comics. When the 1992 X-Men animated series premiered, you never heard of a cartoon show that aired episodes in prime time other than The Simpsons. X-Men was a series for everyone. That's what you should always be. Write good stories, write great characters, kids will find those shows and enjoy them. X-Men became a big name with kids. This and Batman the Animated Series are the two reasons why I picked up a comic book. Following X-Men, Marvel did it again with the 1994 Spider-Man series. From that CG opening and Venom arc, that show became the Spider-Man show. Marvel also launched the 94 Iron Man and Fantastic Four series. While the first seasons of the shows weren't amazing, the art style was rough, they were still good starts. You can't get worse than what happened in the 70s FF show where Torch wasn't even in the series thanks to complaints. When season 2 of them came out, the quality jumped up. They found the perfect spot of meeting the comic book and being a cartoon show. I still think Iron Man Season 2 opening was the best thing from all the shows. That was my Danny Elfman moment. What made these series more unique was that they shared the universe. Many episodes had the characters cross over. DC didn't do that till New Adventures of Batman. By 1996, X-Men was finishing up, I was reading comics, and Marvel premiered the Incredible Hulk animated series. Just like the other shows, they learned what worked and didn't work. They hit the landing. Everything that I enjoyed from Hulk was there. A nice balance between Hulk and Bruce Banner, Betty and Rick Jones with him helping out. The action and stories were up there with X-Men. A nice theme song, the animation had the deeper colors, it made everything pop. The most improved character was Ross. Villains are key in this too. Just as you remember X-Men for Wolverine and Jean Grey, Magneto and Xavier's arcs were just as important. Ross and his military, you saw and felt that hatred he has for Hulk. Hulk is constantly being screwed by everyone. They took what worked in the 1982 cartoon and painted action and drama all over it.
So you don't know what it's like living as a monster.
Doc, I'm gonna let that one pass, I think.
Matt Frewer is still my favorite portrayal of the leader. He knows how to do scumbag characters while keeping their cunning intelligence. His voice is perfect when leader goes from talking down the Hulk to screaming at his lackeys for failing.
We will strike fast and hard. So says the leader.
The show even had Bob Forward on board, one of the main writers for Beast Wars. You can't get better than this. The show, for the time, was a silver platter. Fans of the live-action Hulk series also got a treat with Lou Ferrigno returning to voice Hulk, and even She-Hulk guest appeared early on in the first seasons. They changed her origin story, but Forward wasn't stupid like the 1982 show. He put her in the middle of the crossover episodes and had her attacked by Dr. Doom. If you have to change the story, this is the best way because she wasn't wounded by a stupid stove. And she gets to work with Thing, which is a nice nod to John Byrne's run of Fantastic Four and Sensational She-Hulk. The final arc of the season brings in Doc Samson. Bruce gets his wish and separates from Hulk, which gets screwed up by the leader taking over Hulk's body. The season finale went insane with a huge curveball, Grey Hulk, and ending it there. I'm there waiting for season 2.
Not until Bruce is saved from the beast within.
Iron Man and FF wrap up with a small Avengers final arc. Spider-Man's going into season 3, and then Incredible Hulk season 2 drops. Those action drama filled stories, Hulk vs. Ross, the scary leader plans all disappeared into mediocrity and jokes. This was thanks to two things: ruining She-Hulk and good old parents complaining. You see, with the popularity that the Marvel series gained, especially with like the Phoenix Saga and X-Men, parents started complaining about how violent kid shows were becoming. This all initially began with video games like Mortal Kombat, simply because there was no real rating system for the games till that point, so this filtered down into kid shows. I grew up in that era and probably watched every single show parents said was bad for kids, from Mighty Max to Gargoyles. All of them handled everything tastefully for kids. They complained because the shows wouldn't pull their punches. Jean Grey dies, Batman would fight people with real guns and not made up laser junk. Go watch the Superman animated series. Every police officer has a laser gun. Gargoyles had Xanatos say his infamous line,
"Pay a man enough, and he'll walk barefoot into hell.
Hell is bad when it's used as a curse word. Xanatos was using it as the place. We don't go crazy when people say damn when it's about stopping water. It's like the writers are playing champion level chess games while complaint bombs are going off around them. So now you have a show with the big green guy that's crushing crap. He's fighting the military, attacking people. So parents say things like, Hulk is too scary for kids. Really? I was 10, I was a kid, I found him freaking cool. Hulk did not directly kill anyone, and if anyone actually died, you didn't see it. There was no gore, but it did have drama and good acting.
If Bruce hadn't had to bail my tail during that reactor explosion, he wouldn't be in his predicament.
Yeah, that's Bruce. Always one to try and fix things.
So that had to go. The writing team was basically forced to retool the show. Hulk and Ross, brutal enemies? Bye. Bruce wanting to find a cure, that internal battle of the minds? Bye. Him being treated as an outcast? Bye. Leader, the conniving, messed up bad guy who will use anyone to get what he wants? Let's make him a joke. And then we go to She-Hulk.
Smell my feet.
These gamma legs just can't be beat.
Bringing her in, I thought was great. She was fine in season 1. They captured who she is in those 2 episodes. It allowed a different dynamic. She can help if Hulk goes out of control. You can bring her in her villains. Black Hole, Man Elephant, Microwave, and of course Tatiana. None of this happened. Instead, to make the show more kid appropriate, She-Hulk was turned into the comedic character, wasting her. Hell, every character got wasted in this season. The problem is that's all they did with her. Because they saw John Byrne's comic run, they just summed her up as funny. Well, what do you mean? She-Hulk is supposed to be a funny character.
Wait till the 20th reunion.
She's more than being funny. She doesn't break the fourth wall in every freaking issue. John Byrne's comic run is remembered because he gave She-Hulk a full personality during his time writing the Avengers West Coast, Fantastic Four, and Sensational She-Hulk. All her other traits are ignored. Her wit, her smarts from being a lawyer, her lawyer side period is all gone. With the exception of 1 episode, Jen doesn't change out of She-Hulk. The series hasn't established her yet. The show needs to have both sides, and we don't get to know the character at all. They just used her as a way to appease parents.
Give me your sleep, Brucey.
What? No.
This is not the fucking character. Fuck. See? We have a goofy character. Yeah, everyone's gone out of character. That's the freaking problem. Hulk would hardly get mad. She-Hulk would endlessly say one-liners and jokes. Grey Hulk was set up to be this big thing and quickly gets sidelined. Even Gargoyle got messed up. They went overboard with him. All of a sudden, he got this obsession in wanting to date She-Hulk. Did you just change him because Mark Hamill is his voice actor and you wanted Joker?
My gorgeous love.
We went from Gargoyle trying to find a cure for himself, nearly got Betty killed with his experiment, seeing an ounce of humanity when he gave the antidote to Banner, to him becoming this generic, dumb bad guy.
I can't buy fuel with my good looks alone.
And I'm not saying the Marvel shows didn't have dumb jokes. They all had them.
Oh, it's just my own fault. Should have served him decaf.
But Hulk Season 2 was the dumping ground of jokes. Ogress became She-Hulk's enemy all because she's jealous of her. This doesn't even make sense. If you have a huge problem with your disfigured face, go beat the crap out of Leader. He made you like that. Leader lets this crap go on and on. They basically abandoned trying to find a cure for Hulk. General Thunderbolt Ross was put into a coma, so all military fighting is practically gone. And the dumbest thing was the waste of Mr. Fix-It, Hulk's gray alter ego, who is almost as smart as Banner, and they do nothing with him but do some lame undercover mission. Speaking of waste, they wasted Cree Summer as She-Hulk. I didn't like that they replaced Lisa Zane from season 1, she really captured her good, but Summer was fine too. I just remember her as Hyena and Gargoyle, so I couldn't fully separate her voice from the 2 characters. Summer can do extreme range of characters, from psychopaths to funny. She easily could nail Jen Walters. The writers completely wasted that. The only time I could say she got to play the closest to the character and not a rambling mouth of one-liners was when Summers reprised She-Hulk in the Superhero Squad video game. That says something about season 2.
Hulk, smash!
Through war, okay?
Used to be such a show-off. Just smashing things will never get us the Mind Stone or Thor's birthday cake. We must conduct a thorough examination of the area.
Hulk throw rocks at windows.
That could be legally actionable. Is this the so-called boss battle all games have?
It pains me more when you see Bob Forward's credit on the season. Dude, how can you write this? And they knew it too, because season 2 was only 8 episodes and not the normal 13. They knew they were making crap. So while Superman gets to fight Darkseid, having this really somber series finale, Leader gets sidelined by his lackeys, Hulk is just there, he barely gets to smash since Grey Hulk is used more than him, She-Hulk, get used to her announcing herself every freaking time, Bruce tags along in plots, Betty's there, she does stuff, Rick pretty much vanishes. It's just a show with lots of characters that fight endless amounts of robots because that's all that's allowed now. Everything's unfocused, no one does anything of real substance, there's no story where Leader retakes control, attacks cities to lure out Hulk, no screwing with Hulk and She-Hulk to get them to split up or to have them battle, no series finale that puts them in an epic fight where they have to use every ounce of rage to save lives. This is not Bruce, this is not Jen, this was Hulk's Gargoyles the Goliath Chronicles. Yeah! With that, there was no new animated Hulk show for the next 20 years. Of course, Hulk appeared in other things like Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Hulkverse, but usually relegating him to the sidelines, which keeps happening over and over and over again. He's never really got anything that's felt right. There was never a perfect storm again. The problem with parents and cartoon shows is they complain without first seeing the show they're complaining about. They walk in the room randomly, see one action moment and go, oh my god, this material is horrific. Which is usually a lie because there's a show called Transformers, giant robots fighting humans, things blew up all the time in that one. Oh, and what about Harry Potter? It's a kid's movie and I recall Ron saying,
Bloody hell!
I don't hear anything from that. If they sat down and watched the show, a lot of them wouldn't have gone on the warpath. And maybe some of them would have became fans too. Because shows like this that got trashed with complaints, when I was young, I said to myself, don't ever forget what you watched and how stupid parents can be. Don't end up like that. Can you trust the writers a little more? There's nothing wrong with Hulk fighting the military, ripping apart machines. There's nothing wrong with Bruce Banner fighting his alter ego while Betty helps him through it. It's just deeper, cooler stories that kids will like at different levels. It's not hard to do a show based on an 8-foot green guy that gets mad or a 7-foot lawyer that has bad luck with taxis. But for some reason, these past 25 years, live action, cartoons, and now the comics have been letting me down when it comes to Hulk. All I want is 1996 Hulk writing again.